is Mrs. Williams. Are in the People's Memorial Hospital in Guns. We have a car accident victim. She's 23 years old and has head injuries with facial lacerations, possible C-spine fracture, and a dislocated left hip.
Is the patient in respiratory distress at this time?
Yes, she's having shallow respirations. We're giving her oxygen at 6 liters.
This is the go to People's Memorial Hospital, Independence. 23-year-old female MVA multiple trauma victim. Patient is in respiratory distress. Thank you for holding. What are the current vitals?
What's her blood pressure now?
80 over 60.
Her blood pressure is 80 over 60. We're going to get started, and we're going to put a Foley catheter in.
The ambulance, the vital environmental link between the patient and the hospital. Before you see a Collins ambulance working in the community, we want you to see the anatomy of a Collins ambulance. Collins ambulance manufacturing facilities encompass over 300,000 square feet and employ more than 250 employees. Since the early 1970s, Collins Ambulance Corporation has been extending vans. In addition to being the oldest manufacturer extending vans, Collins is approved by QVM, the Quality Vehicle Modifiers Program. We want you to see the meticulous care and attention to detail that goes into the Collins van ambulance. The Collins engineers have designed your van ambulance base for maximum patient comfort and optimum medical equipment storage. The RX2 extension is made 6 inches longer than the Ford Supervan. The reason? To enable us to put the spare tire up between the frame. This opens up additional medical equipment storage space our competitors require for their spare tire. In addition to the 6-inch body extension, we have incorporated a Ford OEM steel door in the street side. This permits interior-exterior access to vital medical equipment, a feature not offered by any other manufacturer. Besides the Ford steel door and the extension, the interior is engineered and manufactured by Collins to improve the structural integrity above the requirements of the original Ford chassis. The roll cage is the best roll cage in the industry. First, it is jig welded to ensure consistencies of manufacturing. The rectangular 1x2-inch steel structural support mechanism has 7 lateral roll bars, including one directly over the passenger and driver. The rear roll bar is welded to the original roof structure. Safety no other manufacturer offers. All of the roll bars are tied together lengthwise. Roll protection, paramount for personal safety. A Collins ambulance provides safety for the patient and the technician. That is why we have one of the industry's best equipped fiberglass plants. At Collins, we manufacture the fiberglass components and make our own molds. We begin with the plug, or the original piece of fiberglass. The plug is built mostly by hand and must be perfect. In the mold, after laying a gel coat layer, a chopper gun sprays resins and cut fiberglass strands. Next, stiffeners are located at strategic stress points, such as corners and the middle of the top, wherever extra strength is needed. Finally, the roof is laminated with additional resins and stiffeners. When these materials harden, they are like structural light gauge steel. A radio ground plane is installed in every top to increase the range of the radio transmitter. To prove structural strength, we static load test to 1 1/2 times the curb weight of the vehicle, which is about 12,000 pounds. At Collins, we can insert a finger between our fiberglass roof and our roll cage. No give. The fiberglass roof does not collapse onto the roll cage. This should not, under any circumstances, be done by our competitors. The Collins roof is as strong or stronger than the original steel top that comes on the vehicle. A water spray at 40 pounds per square inch is done 3 times, including the end of the final assembly line. We check for any water leaks between the fiberglass top and the steel top. where light bars are attached, where warning lights are attached, doors and door gaskets. There must not be any water leaks. Collins is the only manufacturer that provides 2 rub rails on the top side of the roof. This prevents tree limbs and other foreign material from digging into the top. The Collins wraparound lighting package is recessed. This protects the lenses and helps reduce the washout effect of bright sunlight. On the RX2, the low amperage dash-mounted console is angled toward the driver, positioning all the controls at eye level. Illuminated switches control all of the functions, including scene lights and sirens. The wire is the messenger of the electrical system. We use an SXL wire. It varies in 2 ways from standard automotive wiring. First, the insulation is at least double thickness, so it won't wear through. Second, it has a higher tolerance to vehicle and ambient heat, and thus is less likely to harden or become brittle. The color-coded SXL wire is referenced by a code number or function, hot-stamped on the insulation for permanent reference. Now the wire is automatically measured and stripped to length. All the varied wire ends at Collins are machine crimped versus hand crimped. This consistent crimp reduces the potential for power interruptions due to poor connections. This also prevents electrical failure and lengthens the life of the batteries. Wiring looms are made up, tested, unit numbered, then shelved, awaiting final assembly. The brain of our electrical system is a relay control panel, and the milliamp switching system is the command module. The entire switching system on our attendance panel has less than 1 amp of electrical draw. We have directed all of the high amperage to an isolated area. There are only 2 sizes of relays used. In the unlikely event repair is necessary, this cuts down on user inventory requirements. The driver's console, panel, wiring loom, electrical controls, and the relay blocks are sub-assembled and tested prior to assembly line installation. The test board, which mirrors an actual ambulance, checks for function. This assures us that when all the panels leave our sub-assembly area, the continuity is there. At Collins, you see the care taken in the electrical system to protect against temperature extremes. Our care for the finish of the RX2 is as good or better than the OEM paint. Once an RX2 is extended and the top is in place, the vehicle is painted. First, all body component parts are hand finished, block sanded, and primered. Next, a 3 to 4 mil thick paint is applied. We use DuPont Centauri products, which are very compatible with the OEM paint. The attention to paint preparation and the heated air makeup paint booths are 2 more efficient and cost-effective measures utilized by Collins in manufacturing. When a Collins ambulance arrives at the scene, many more of the Collins cares are seen in and out. We begin with a firm footing, a 1-piece plywood floor. Most manufacturers settle for a 4x8 piece of plywood spliced to the size needed. With our 1-piece oversized plywood floor, there are no joints and no potential for cracking. Anywhere that the plywood butts up against the fender wells, it is caulked and weatherproofed. That way, if there is any moisture behind the wall, it will be stopped before it can be absorbed by the plywood. Like the floor below it, all of the vinyl flooring installed is in 1 piece. It is also rolled up the action wall. The entire ambulance is insulated with a fiberglass batting insulation that meets federal motor vehicle safety standards for flammability. The batting Collins uses is not the same as other manufacturers. Ours is specifically engineered for the appliance industry. The structural support 3/8-inch steel bar, seen earlier, is now tapped and the seat belts attached. The seat belts are pulled tested to the Federal Motor Vehicle Safety Standards of 2,500 pounds. In addition, the crash rail on each side serves as a tapping plate for the medical cabinets. Any overhead piece of medical equipment installed in the vehicle has tapping plates incorporated into the structure as well. The high-temperature wiring loom subassembly is now put in place. The interior fiberglass headliner is added to the patient compartment. The cabinetry in the Collins ambulance is strategically placed and is made of the best materials. We manufacture our own cabinets. The material we use for structural members of the cabinets is 7-ply, 3/4-inch exterior grade birch plywood. This compares to some of our competitors who use 5-ply plywood, and it may not be exterior grade. Our exterior grade plywood is then laminated with a 1/16-inch surface. Some competitor laminates are really micas and measure only 22 thousandths in thickness. At Collins, we have learned that strength is paramount. With 7-ply exterior grade plywood and 1/16-inch laminates, that strength is assured. Our employees have done everything possible to make the technician and patient as safe and as comfortable as possible. The RX2, CX2, Type 1, and Type 3 make up the Collins ambulance line. Now let's take a walking tour of the RX2 features. Starting underneath the hood, all of the wiring is encased in high-temperature black wiring looms. They are tied with metal insulated guides and wire ties approximately every 6 inches. A Collins rule: anywhere wiring can become entangled, we use a tie or guide. We have eliminated virtually all of the manual shutoff valves. This one shutoff valve that cuts off heat to the patient compartment is easily accessible, and its location has been clearly decaled. Manufacturing a quality ambulance is only part of the story at Collins. We also believe it is important to take care of the environment. As an example, when we couple our air conditioner with the factory air, the Freon is pumped from the van. Then a recycling system returns 100% of the Freon to the vehicle. This way, we help protect the ozone layer. Under the hood, everything else is Ford. The alternator is 165 amp. The batteries are 700 coal cranking amps. On the front, we see grilled strobe speaker lights. The strobes are designed to increase rear mirror awareness by cars in front. And the siren speakers below the hood level help reduce the noise level in the patient compartment. There are 8 red warning lights around the roof. A minimum of 1 clear floodlight on each side and the rear, and 1 clear flashing light in front. With the 2 grilled lights, these lights flash in the sequence dictated by the KKK. Moving rearward, there is a chrome vent. This is a fresh air intake vent for the heater and air conditioner. The exhaust main is located on the left rear of the patient compartment. This configuration creates a gentle sweeping action across the attendant and the patient, while exchanging the air every 2 minutes. The Collins heating and air conditioning system between the drivers and the patient compartment operate independently in all modes, including defrost. One of the best features in our van is the configuration of the patient compartment. Generally, on most ambulances, both doors must be opened in order to get to the ALS cabinet. On the Collins, only one door needs to be opened. Simply step in, reach to the ALS cabinet, which is located at the head of the squad bench, and get the equipment needed. The ALS location does three things. First, it stores equipment. Second, it helps retain the attendant on the squad bench in the event of a sudden slowdown or stop. And third, because of the ALS location at the front of the squad bench, the driver has a better side vision through the curbside door windows when backing or in high traffic areas when changing lanes. Another plus, a technician can reach into the interior-exterior compartment to get equipment without getting into the vehicle. Again, with only one door open. As the rear door is opened, the floods come on, illuminating the patient loading area. These diamond tread plate bumper steps, skid plates, and tow eyes are the strongest in the industry. Collins makes a durable, sturdy step that will hold up for the life of the ambulance. Inside the patient compartment, because of our 6-inch extension, the RX2 has two storage areas that are not found on the competition models. This compartment, on the right, is used for storing either a KAD extrication device, hair traction, or long splints. The one on the left can be used for storing portable O2 or the fire extinguisher. All Collins cabinet doors have breakaway C-handles. These, even when impacted by a head, shoulder, or elbow, will break away, reducing the potential for injury. Each RX2 comes standard with grab bars for the technician to hold while working on the patient. The storage of the squad bench is unique. Its slanted design permits storage of two long wood backboards with runners and a fully assembled scoop stretcher, the three most widely used pieces of equipment on a medical or trauma run. The outboard or curb side of the backboard compartment can be used for items such as pillows, blankets, and jacks. The inboard side gives additional storage space and has sliding windows. The RX2 spare tire is located under and in between the frame rails. It is raised and lowered with an electric motor and a cable, long enough not only to drop down the spare tire, but slide it clear of the vehicle to the rear. No need to get under the vehicle. Also, a self-centering device allows a technician to put the cable in the center part of the wheel, hit the up button, and draw the wheel back under the vehicle and lock it in place. In addition to the additional storage compartments for medical equipment and the interior-exterior access, Collins is able to boast the largest cubic footage for patient care in a van today. The length in the patient compartment measures 138 inches, where the standard supervan measures 132. That extra 6 inches enables us to do a multitude of things. As an example, a patient on a cot with a traction splint will not obstruct the closing of the rear doors. All corners have heavy-duty stainless steel trim in high-impact areas to prevent damage. The RX2 is fitted with a crash-worthy cot holder that will hold the patient secure, even in the event of a rollover. The flooring, rolled up the sides, allows the interior to be washed out with a hose. Moving to the street side of the vehicle, we see the Ford Steel OEM interior-exterior access door. The M cylinder is easily replaced in this interior-exterior compartment. The M cylinder is held in securely with a KKK-tested O2 bracket that has thumb screws for easy securing of the cylinder. The O2 system comes standard with a 50 pounds per square inch regulator, and a viewing window permits the technician to view the pressure in the tank at all times. Also, the O2 compartment is vented with a 9 square inch opening. In the event of a leak, it will vent to the outside, eliminating the concern for an oxygen-saturated patient compartment. Another plus, the equipment compartment will hold any piece of trauma or emergency medical equipment that is currently used in the field today. Specifically, it will hold soft packs, Plano 747 and 727 kits. Easy accessibility, that is the key. On the driver's side, a 110-volt exterior shoreline plug that is ground fault interrupted is visible. That means that in the case of a faulty ground, the circuit will automatically trip, creating additional protection. Just to the right of the driver is the driver's console. Collins was one of the first with a dash-mounted eye-level console aimed toward the driver. The advantage is that it is easily seen with the peripheral vision of the driver and allows the driver to concentrate on the roadway. The console has some unique features. The shroud or vacuum-formed cover has only 5 screws. Remove the 5 screws and the cover comes off, so the electrical panel can be serviced without juggling or balancing parts in your lap. The console can also be completely removed in about 5 minutes by removing 2 bolts and the pin connectors. If need be, the panel can be duplicated in our shop and shipped within 24 hours. The consoles are always tested in our electrical department, so they can be quickly reinstalled and operational. The switching configuration is standard: master control switch, primary secondary switch, light bar switch, and horn siren switch, which enables you to change tones on your siren by simply hitting your horn ring. These modes can be changed without the driver's hands ever leaving the steering wheel. Simply push the horn button. A standard siren has wail, yelp, and hyper yelp, a digital tone. It makes pedestrians and vehicles aware that there may be more than one emergency vehicle in the area. Voltmeter and amp meter are included, as well as steering wheel, tilt, and cruise control. Our employees have done everything possible to make the technician and patient as safe and as comfortable as possible. The RX2, CX2, Type 1, and Type 3 make up the Collins ambulance line.